Hi everyone, what I'm going to do is a modification to the Wagtail Highflyer because the pads kept coming off because the velcro comes off. So here's a modification I've done. So I've had to crack on because I'm not going to be editing my video, as I rarely do. It takes too long. I'll just see how it goes. Okay. What we've got is a Highflyer here where the velcro has come off, so I've cleaned it off completely. First thing to do, get a plastic ruler, okay, like this. One side's flat and the other side's got some sort of ridges on. Okay, you want to have the flat side onto the actual Wagtail Highflyer. Alright, what you want to do is cut it to the same proportions, same angles as the actual Highflyer itself. As you can see there, the squeegee. Next thing to do, get a drill a hole. You want to clamp this on, drill a hole straight through with both the ruler and the Highflyer. It should come out here, roughly where these hinges are, just at the corners. You can see there. I found that the best place. Ignore these bits of white paper, that's where I've been experimenting. It didn't work. So you only need one hole here and here, actually in the Highflyer. Corresponding hole each side in the ruler. Then take the ruler off, drill another hole just behind on the ruler on both sides. So we've got two holes on the ruler. You only need one actually on the Highflyer itself. You'll see why afterwards. Right, as for the pad itself, again it's a bit tatty. I've been experimenting. What you want to do is cut a slot in one end, okay, like that, so your ruler just goes in. Now the orientation is important here. Let's see, yep, it's that way. Okay, just slot that in there. Okay, then pull this over the edge so that your ruler's inside. Okay, right, next thing to do is cut a couple of slots. You might have to take the ruler out again. You need to line it up. Okay, put your pad so it's perfectly lined up. Make a mark opposite your holes on your Highflyer. Okay, then cut a couple of slots on each side there so that you can put some ties through. Okay, first thing to do is start from underneath. You can see there, push your first tie through. Right, have it so the actual zip connector is about 1 inch proud. You just have to adjust it as you go along. Then you'll need like something sharp or a very tiny screwdriver or something, and what you'll do, pull your pad towards the back here a little bit, so most of the loose bits at the back, because the orientation is going to be critical on this, because you don't want the pad here going too far forwards, otherwise it touches the glass. So it needs to be back from the actual rubber blade a slight bit, maybe 1/4 inch or something like that. So this is where it's important to get the orientation of the holes correct. Right, then here's the fiddly bit. You need to find the holes that you've made. Okay, I can see them under this light. I've done this before, so it's a lot easier. Put your tie through the first hole. If you can't find it properly, you use a screwdriver or something. Find the hole, like I said, a sharp implement. Then hold the pad tight, try not to move it, and you'll find that the tie will go straight through. Then you want it back over in a loop like this. Again, it's finding the next hole again, the second one that you drilled. Okay, like I said, I've done this before. You're going to find this fiddly, but once it's done, it's going to be well worth it. then you'll find that comes back through like that. Let's do the second one before we draw them tight. Okay. Again, you need to find the holes. There you go. And push through the fabric. It's going to be the bottom hole in this orientation, okay? Again, pull through. Find the second hole. There you go. You might notice that the tie is on the outside here. You'll think it's going to scratch the glass, but what I've found is it just buries itself and you can't even see it there. Look. You can hardly see it at all. It just buries itself into the pad itself. Next thing to do, connect the ties up. Hopefully you've got them the right way around to start with. If you haven't, you have to rethread it. You can see what's going to happen. That goes round the back of the wagtail. I found this is the best way, because if you drill 2 holes in the actual wagtail and draw it, and you can't seem to get the orientation of the pad correct. Right, we'll tighten them up. Just take a bit of fiddling about, but once you've got it right, it really does work well. Used to be drawn through better than that. Used to be pulled through. Better. So that the actual connector is towards the back like that. Okay. The other one's already found its way pretty well. You'll find once you get these tightened up correctly, make sure it's oriented correctly on the actual wagtail as well. Get this tightened up. With thinner ties it's easier, but that's better. They tend to snap. See, we've got that right now. Get that through there. Make sure it's lined up. All you have to do is snip them off and there's your pad. It doesn't come off and it works a treat. It's a little bit heavier, but if you can be bothered to go through all that, that'll never come off. The only thing about it is you have to wash the pad on the blade. I use a scrubbing brush, you know, and it seems to work fine. I pulled that a bit tighter. That seems to line up a little bit better now. That's where you want to see a little bit of silver along there, just below the blade. You'll find that really works well. It's not going anywhere. It's fixed firmly and permanently, and you can scrub it with the scrubbing brush. So if you can be bothered to follow that, because I know it's a complicated one, I can't think of a better way of doing it. Job done. So I hope that's okay. It's not an easy one, but it's worth it. And I do like the Wagtail Highflyer, so job done again.